Hello. I think it's like bro, I've been so busy. I probably slept 5 hours in 2 days, bro. Just been doing so much. But um, long story short, we have a YM review, and we wanted to talk about a couple things. This month and this week on basic level liquidity, because I'm hearing a lot that people may understand what price is slightly up to at certain periods of time, but they're still having trouble identifying long-term lows, short-term highs and lows, intermediate highs and lows. So understanding what's what, right? Is definitely going to be a big focus coming into this week. Okay. Um, should be about 2 days, 2 videos per day, all week, and we'll get through liquidity pretty quickly. All right. So, and again, just basic level version liquidity. It's like a abridged version that I do in my regular mentorship, but not as detailed. So I'm not giving you everything, but enough for you to actually work with it. All right. So watch this. Number one. All right. My bad. I had to light the blunt real quick. Number one. Right. I got a request for the watermark, by the way. So if you can see the watermark, hopefully this is more helpful for you. All right. So obviously, you guys know I start off on the hour chart a lot. And again, I am a intraday trader, right? So I'm comfortable in other formats, position trading, swing trading, days range, or scalping. All right. But this is up to you to be intentional about your style of trading, right? It's based on your personality. And that's why, as a mentor, like I'm not super into just throwing you a bunch of information and telling you you need to trade just like me. No, we're going to personalize it together so you have your own model. Like it might have tweaks and stuff way different from what I do. It'll be similar in whatever concepts that you're using to mesh together into one model that I help you do. But the whole point is being intentional with your personality and your trading plan. So if you're telling me that you don't have much patience, right? You're like me, right? We're trying to be done. So I'm interested in mostly days range, okay? And scalping in between that. But I'm mostly at least making sure I leave a runner or two for the day's range. Okay. Now again, trading futures, right? You're not looking to hold this motherfucker all day. Not looking to do that. But what I am looking to do is be organized. So when we're looking at this, right? And again, looking at NQ versus YM, I get this a lot. Which one is better? Which one is, which one should I be trading or not? And again, bro, that's up to you. Like however you wanna come in and experiment. Like this week, I'll say it, NQ was fun, but YM was a lot cleaner. I'll show you what I mean. So when we pop down to the Monday, we always start in order, all right? And so automatically we're talking about like, yo, why the hell do we have this curve here, right? Perfect curve. And let's be creative. Now, I've talked about algos on this channel already, but we need to look back for a second. And so again, if I'm being intentional on myself, I'm talking about days range, scalping, and I'm looking for clues that are basically super helpful in my not just narrative or bias for that day or week, but I'm looking to see what side I can eliminate fully, right? So we've been bullish since the Stone Age down here. Jesus, this is ridiculous. This run is very significant. And a lot of people will start to see every time it dips down like that, that they think that this is going to be a massive retracement, right? But real quick, I mean, even on a basic level, right? Let's lock this in. All right. So we'll do this now. So I want to try maybe like the 729. Ooh. Now, this is what I talk about a lot on this channel, right? Even though you're like intraday trading, even though you're not a position trader, you're not looking to stay weeks at a time in a single trade idea. But my thing is, when you're operating gold back levels, yes, you can go and check where price should go semi uh longer term, I'll say, right? So when you have this 729, I could come in and pop in another additional range, and I guarantee you it looks super clean. See what I mean? It looks only messy because like it's two dealing ranges stacked on top of one another visually, right? So this is my thing. I want you guys to be like, yo, shit, I can see where it fucking came from. Look at every single time it engages low and building all this buy side liquidity. And this was so accumulated, it was ridiculous, right? So if this is the first week of the month, right, and we do this a lot, what is this? This is how you organize. You're not just going to put AMD for no reason. I understand that where Michael taught it, he made it seem like a lot of way you can just view the marketplace. Oh, you know what? This is obviously accumulation, but this right here, people might say, oh, this is a distribution. No, it's not. None of this is distribution at all. You have fractal cycles of it inside of each day, or you might have a day function as a distribution. But when we're talking about the overall scale on the month so far, this is what you do to keep focus. So, yes, you can come in and be ready based on time a lot more. So, you're not going to get chopped up on this week because you understand what the whole week is. First week of the month, clear A. And yes, you have a week long version of accumulation. Week long version of accumulation. Right, my guy. And again, like I said, we're trying to come back and do um like what's around me, right? Like we've been so bullish this whole time, but mind you, we need to pop up to a higher time frame in a moment. But just me trying to make sure that you understand this shit is not going to go out of order, and it is perfect when we talk about. Let me write this on the screen. Expected price action. All right, got it, got it. Yo, where's the? Oh, I'll be talking, letting the blunt go out. But long story short, right? When you're looking at this accumulation, manipulation, right? And we'll get to distribution in a moment. But this is what I want you to understand. And let's pop to a 4 hour. All right. And this is what I mean about expected price action. We've talked on this before on this channel, where we don't also just talk about how this looks visually, but we also talk about what I call structure versus function. The reason why I bring this up is when you understand what this is doing, you can put together more of a plan than just, hey, I need to buy, hey, I need to sell, hey, I need to buy, hey, I need to sell. You have much more control over your narrative and saying, you know what? If it is an accumulation, I need to be more focused on scalping because it is going to be liable to start whipping both directions in a really aggressive way. And it feels as though it makes you go crazy because every single time you try something, you're like, yo, it just doesn't fucking move, man. I'm being met with like, $1,000 retracements, and now this is $2 million going down, bro. This is really stressful. I tell my students all the time, wait for the M or the D cycle. You can just trade distribution. It's easy. When we talk about expected price action, we talk about high versus low resistance as well. So when we talk about what manipulation is, what accumulation is, structure versus the function. We talked about this being like an Asia session, right? Whole week, bro. It does nothing different. Look at that. Takes out your high and the low of your Q1, which is what I'll call that first week accumulation, right? No different than when I operate 90-minute cycles. No different. Yo, I rolled the shit out of this, and I'm about to roll 3 more. But when I'm looking at this a Q1, right? We understand it's just a building of liquidity. When we talk about structure, up, down, up, down, up, down. And why? It's creating buy side and sell side liquidity. It's also filling in imbalances. It's going to try to operate as a base for when you get to manipulation. It has a high and a low, and you see we immediately too far, too fast, jam down, take these lows. This should be an automatic, yo, I need to buy shit. Automatic, bro. And I already showed you the GB levels. So what? You're probably like, my eyes. You see what I'm saying, bro? What are you going to do? You can still participate, but you need it from an algorithmic level that makes a lot more sense to you or not. But when you get down in this area, bro, how easy is this in reality? EXT level, which is your discount to the discount, right? And let me open up the range. All right. Back to the hour. So you see more. All right. And look, when we talk about manipulation, bro, it's too far, too fast. However it moves, it's just like that. So when this starts to go, a lot of people are like, yo, what the? Why the fuck do we have a Sunday high and we just rip down like that? There's reasons. Like I said, you're not going to come in and say, oh, well, it's going down now. We probably just bearish all week. Don't do that. Don't do that now. And it's not just you looking at this as, you know, first opportunity, or you're looking for this to just go down infinitely, right? Because it's been bullish as fuck for weeks, bro. Like, really, though. It's been bullish for weeks. But what I'm saying is, I know it's really, really hard for a lot of people who even, like, I'm not saying you have to operate gold back level specifically to find this out. But obviously, when you're looking at this is really rough on your mental. If you're just like, yo, looking for retracement after retracement after retracement, you can't accept that this is still bullish. So you keep trying to sell it off, trying to sell it off, trying to sell it off. It's just not going to work. And you're also not knowing that this is a real manipulation. So once this sell side is done, bro, this motherfucker not going to stop. And you see where that brings you. And I've said this before. Manipulation. Manipulation does not have to go opposite direction of distribution. And when we get to the lower time frame, when I'm back on the this week, right, in a moment, you'll see exactly what I mean by this. And I need you guys to get there. Please understand that. It's not just this dumbass shit here. Accumulation, manipulation down, distribution up. It doesn't have to be just one singular, this is your entire manipulation and that's it. No. Manipulation can easily start the move. Manipulation can start here, go up, stop in that time cycle, that duration, and then go into a next week and blast off like a fucking rocket, bro. You gotta be clutching the paint. You gotta be Kobe. You gotta be Kobe, bro. You gotta have the plan, my man, and say, you know what? Listen, I understand that this is a manipulation. However, right? Watch this. What would make me stay a little longer for buys? Daily chart. What do we find up here? Ready? Watch this. Massive, massive run, right? Okay. This is why, again, I love just showing you guys ways to keep organized. Now we're on a lower. Let go. Okay. Watch. Why are we not surprised at what price is doing at all? Why am I not surprised that this is bullish? Look at the weekly chart. Now really think. Not just these levels, I'm looking directly at the candles only. All right. I want you to see the vibe, right? So watch this. Okay. Again, you know me. I give you the whole enchilada. We need all that. I need all that, my guy. And 2025. Great, great, great. I don't need it on the exact day. I just need it relative to the time period I'm looking to use. Therefore, this is a 2024 is a whole year, right? Got it, got it, got it. Now, when you're looking at this right here, right? Look at these last few weeks, okay? What happened? When you break it down like this, it's not very many candles at all. So I'm giving you about another 30 seconds before I say it. What do you see? Now zoom in. Pause the fucking video. And I know you're not going to do that. So I'm going to just give you a couple seconds anyway. Also, I have a group session coming up. If anybody watching this video would like to join, um, we're doing Jeopardy. So it's a fun time. Come through and I don't know, maybe you can learn something, maybe you can win something. You'll never know. And so, especially with some of these group sessions I do, they're not like Discord specific. So, it's open to the general public. Like, um, I'll give out the schedule for the group sessions, and you can let me know if you would like to join. All right. And I'll give you more details about that in the DM if you send me a message about it. All right. But long story short, you can see this. How many times on this channel do I say the word gap? Like, it's to the point where, like, I guarantee you I'll find a clipper at some point and, like, somebody can just time all the times I say the same words. Like, how many times do I say liquidity? How many times do I say the market is fractal? How many times do I say the word gap? Like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, fair value. And watch, right? So if the year starts here, I want you to understand something, right? What do you see? Now this is Gap City, right? Yeah, that's kind of hard to deal with. You feel what I'm saying? And even if you look at how many up candles versus how many down candles we really have, even just based on the year, it's a weekly chart, yes. But when I'm telling you again about how fractal the marketplace is, there it goes again. You can easily come in here and frame these. This is not hard. And every time it makes a singular movement from point A to point B, you understand why. What I'm saying is when this gap gets created and you're going up like this, you understand that like where the fuck it's gone. We get that, right? Now, I'd be looking for this to probably fill a little quicker until we verify by a certain day that we're not going to do that yet. And so, look, 3 weeks in a row, right? Just straight ripping. It's not going to ignore this gap, bro. Too much internal range liquidity. It needs to be met with some selling. It needs to give these people an equal opportunity. So if you didn't have any sellers were not able to participate, there you go. You got that. Cool. Now, when we're on the up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6+ weeks of buying. This shit is like Christmas came early. You have to understand why this is not a fucking run down to the lows. It's not. And I know a lot of people get worried because they say, yo, well, like I saw equal lows down here and like, we already took liquidity. Like I didn't, like, there's no way. Like, no, there is a way, my guy. There's plenty of ways. And so look, even though it made these lows down here, what happened? You made a longer term low that was not able to get traded back to. Now, this decided to make these relative equals. However, you still made this gap here, and we were not able to trade through this. We didn't even have to fill it. Not needed. Trades right into consequent encroachment, which is 50%, and right up. And look at the vibe. When you're bullish, and I've said this before, basic level, right? And this is so powerful. It's respecting the lows. It's breaking the highs. Only time you actually stop and run back and don't break a high of a candle, imbalance. It's the only reason, or an order block. It's the only reason it doesn't do that on a particular candle when it's still going a certain way. Even if I was on a 1-minute chart, you can use this. This is us talking about, like, we have an entry hack video coming pretty soon. But long story short, it's the end of the series, right? There's, I think, 1 or 2 more videos. One for public, and the rest are going for members only in Discord. But for the complete idea, right? We're looking at, again, being respectful of the lows, breaking highs. Respectful of the lows, breaking highs. We only come into this fair value gap because we understand that. Back up, breaking highs, respecting lows. You're bullish. You can't convince me otherwise. And so when other people come and they say, damn, bro, well, shit, you're right. I can't just randomly start looking for sells every week. Why would you change your bias every day or every week? You don't have to. Just understand how the shit's already giving you a setup. You're just not looking at the daily chart, weekly chart, and you're also not looking at where price is going in general. So when I operate some things like this, and look, why is this fair value gap happen to be in where? Come on, bro. Open your eyes, man. Look at that. Look how perfect this is. So I'm just going to do fair value level. You mean to tell me you can't see that? This is what we call an IOFED. Institutional order flow entry drill. It's not going to fill this gap. It's perfectly aligned by the algo. It's right. A perfect rebalance of the gap right in our discount fair value gap level where we can expect it. Now, watch this. Okay. We've also talked on IOFED is basically just gap not going to be filled, and it's super energetic. It's not going to have to fill this gap because it's completely an algo 2 normally. It's not going to look to fill this gap, not needed. All this here, we already had the plays all off this low. It showed you that this dealing range was current. All right. And you're watching yourself like, or you're thinking to yourself like, damn, if I had only found this channel 2 months ago, if I'd only found this channel a year ago, if I'd only found this channel a month ago, I understand, right? Don't get discouraged about this. Take what I'm telling you, understand it, and work with what you have left in the narrative. So what I'm showing you, right? And again, like I said, be hyped because this is stuff that, like I said, I respect my students. Um, Mentorship is not the cheapest thing in the world, but what I will do for you, right, regardless of whatever mentorship you're on with me, you're going to understand what these look like. It's up to you to fill in the pieces to where you could use it yourself. All right. Now, with my students, I help them personally put together models. This is where you're going to have to do that yourself. All right. If you're on my YouTube, watch this. This is nothing but ALGO 2. All right. I don't need Copilot. Now watch. Here, how do we know? And again, I'm on 65, 61, right? Big partition. It goes from where? Low. Okay. Where does it go next? Breaker level. Why does it stop directly there? All right. Stop directly in your breaker level. Back to what? Fair value. And you dart to where? Opposite order block. It's literally right on your cheat sheet, bro. Here, I'll even be an asshole for a second. Like the cheat sheet is really underrated, and people low key don't really look at the data correctly. So like, listen, Algo 2, the high and low and the rejection block is right next to each other. So whatever, if you're looking for algos, not looking for algos, we understand that the EXT level, the low rejection block, all the way to liquidity void is really where you want to look to participate, right? These are the best areas of participation, right? Now, you understand the algo path, right? So when you see how, again, watch this down here, and they say, well, I don't know, man. I mean, it came a little too far, right? I don't know if this was a real rejection block or not, but really look at this, okay? Now, you're in the rejection block partition here. You can't find that to be a rejection block? I talked about this a little bit on this channel where you might see it go a little too far, but the PD rate itself, if you know what it looks like, that's why I always teach with fair value gap first, because it's the same thing here. This fair value gap goes outside of the fair value gap level, clearly, but the body of it is right in the level. We clearly know it's a gap. We see it. So when it is going through this, I can see it's going to reference this exact level and not here, here, here for rebalance. Rejection block. It goes, it's a kangaroo tail, right? That when you trade back down into it, it doesn't break the liquidity of it. It straight rejects that and flies. Rejection block. It's almost like a flagpole. And it doesn't break this wick right here. And this is the first candle with the largest wick going through your rejection block area, sell side, at a support level. Rejection blocks. I want to do a whole video on those, actually. These are really fun. You've got to be hip to these, and you see what you're met with. And you understand, again, when we talk about algos, it's completely in order. It's not any different. Whatever dealing range you're looking at, whether it's 3, 9, 81, 65, 61, doesn't matter. Algos are algos, right? You turn on a light switch, it does one purpose. I turn on my PlayStation 5, it has one purpose. You feel what I'm saying? So, right here, right? And people ask me all the time. And these are like, bro, I've done these lectures thousands of times. I don't have to like write anything down. I just talk how I feel like talking, and it is what it is. Now, we go to find examples. It's just what I would like to look at. So watch this. We talk about the rejection block. So your breaker down to fair value, and you fly the opposite order block. And am I wrong? Rejection block, breaker, fair value gap, opposite order block. Now, it's funny because when I talk about Algo 2, what I really like to do is, again, you're virtually done at the order block. Be done. Obviously, you're going to hit the high, like obviously leave the runner, let it hit the high. But like, Mitigation block and liquidity void, obviously it'll, look to end the algo with the liquidity void. But I'm pretty much not saying I'm not interested, but yeah, this is basically the bulk of the work. You're paid by the time you hit the order block. You feel what I'm saying? Now, however you want to translate this, right? Again, I'm looking at a weekly chart and I'm looking at a high PO3. I'm on a 65, 61. Now, when we pop back down to the hour and we go looking at it like this, you see how not helpful this shit is at all. At fucking all. But what I'm saying is, if you really had to say to yourself, yo, I saw the higher partitions and maybe this definitely I'll go too. You know what I'm saying? So like it's definitely going to be a situation where I need to focus on buys. Not saying you can't scalp or sell every now and then, but I wouldn't focus on that. And so here I'm looking at oh here small. There we go. Oh wait, I guess I had it on normal. Whatever. Don't need it. Now this is my thing, right? Again, the PL3 is too big now. Gotta come down. You're not going to be on a 1 hour chart trying to look at a 19683. It's not what you need to do. All right. Now, mind you, let's check and see what this did based on, again, this is why we use weekend Saturday Sunday, right? So again, that's our whole week, right? So here you see how it's, again, it's way too big. You need to cut it. No, okay. Yeah, it's way too big. You need to bring it down. Feel me? Look how simple this is. Like really though. You telling me you can't operate this? You feel me? And what did I say about again, why we're not going to expect it to be bullish any or bearish anytime soon? This is nothing but an EQ down to the low on your 1 hour. And we fill it in with time, right? Yes. You see why I tell you guys to do certain shit. It's funny because my students are like, yo, like, it's just every time you explain it, it's right there. I see what you mean. Every time I go to look at the shit, it's like, this shit looks like another language. I've just been doing this for a very, very, very long time. Okay. Do not get discouraged that your organization or what you're looking at and looking for, you don't recognize as quickly as you would like. All right. That comes with time, right? I talk about time a lot on this channel. Are you surprised that the low of the week is your Wednesday? No, can't be. Are you surprised that the low is in a kill zone right inside of London? No. Buy side liquidity engineered right here because there's PO3 liquidity. It failed to reach a major goldback level above you here on the first run up. Therefore, when it came down, it had no problem reaching the major goldback levels here. These are complete, right? So when we start darting up, down, back up, you're not going to be interested in sells. All this is fake, leave it alone, and you buy it. Now, coming in here, this is where it gets kind of messy, right? Now, YM was confusing a lot of people just because I can see that you're not looking at a higher time frame. NQ had like messier price action here. This should be easy for you. This should also be easy for you if you look at, again, I'm talking about algos, right? 729, you needed this perspective to understand where we're going. You can clearly see where the fuck we're going. You understand that. And look, shared high. Shared high. What does that mean, Jay? That means we're getting the fuck up here. Feel what I'm saying? Anyway, watch this. Buy side liquidity, so you're not going to ignore any of this. But the whole time, mind you, all your points here that you can operate are just London kill zone and then OCEs to go long. You have a London kill zone, OTE to go long. This is a market maker buy model to end it with a TGIF setup. Ding, ding, ding. Now down to the 30 real quick. All right. Now watch. I need you to get there. All right. And what I'm saying is, now we're going to go to the 243. All right. Now, this is my whole point in showing you this. Every single time we talk about a structure, there's no gaps in our narrative. I don't like that. Again, we talk about power through liquidity, right? And you can see more evidence of that on your 243. So when you see all this unfilled range, bro, it's about 50 ticks or so. Again, you know that this is clear liquidity, and I mean all this makes sense. Like this is nothing but a liquidity void here to go down, and it needs to come down back to that 729 low to make the move, right? And so that's why you're not going to be confused. Hey man, every time I'm trading, this shit breaks my dealing range, and I'm just fucked. Like thinking that the 243 was the only target, and it went 10 times lower. Yeah, because you're not looking at other dealing ranges, my guy. And even if you break that one, watch. I'm talking about that here, right? It would have came down, and look, it would have had another PO3 back to the high for the OTE, and then back down. See that? And again, yes, you have a day of selling, because we need the logic to line up with your 243 and your 729. So when you get these lows intact, right, and the time is there, London, New York, you run you run it like a NFL play, bro. Run the play. Get to the touchdown. All this is not very difficult. It really isn't. Okay? Now watch. Let's turn this off. Now, so far, I want you to review what we talked about and think to yourself, I can't get confused. Why would you be expecting this to be a reversal at some point? Why? Because you realize that you're in a bullish algo too on a high as shit PO3. Every single time it wants to go down, it's going to create high resistance liquidity. Every time it's going to go up, it's going to be low resistance liquidity. And look, this down run is not bad. It's a good move. Make a lot of money there. But it's not as explosive and reactive as our buy side, is it? I've already told you what the bias is. It's up to you to come in these next 2 weeks and stay bullish. 3 weeks and stay bullish. Stop looking for sales right now. All right. There will be a little part 2 to all this at some point. But what I want to focus on is the end of the entry hacks before we do liquidity. All right. So subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed, my guy, because we got a lot to do. Man, that was fun. See y'all later.